college life was quite of an experience for me, with all the kinds of classes that I had, be able to take part in the college events, and even most of all, to make many friends. But though there is one particular event that I was not much a big fan of. This happened to me during the second year of college. It's not like a long-term time period it happened to. It was only for a short time during my second year. My name is Jason. This happened only about a few years ago. And I was not the only one that this affected to. My best friend Adrian was also part of this. Just been saying this, me and Adrian are literally childhood friends. We applied for the same college and we were actually accepted in, and to our surprise we were even assigned the same dorm room as roommates, which we didn't even, well, question about. But like I said, this happened during our second year of college. One day after our final class of the day, when we arrived at our dorm room, we found there was a letter assigned to both of us. It was from the fraternity building club on the campus. I should point out here, this fraternity club was very well known in the city and on campus, that to have many former students to be within a business and within politics. So yeah, I should mention that. And even though Adrian was curious and was considered joining in, but since the letter said that we were selected to be potentially being able to join, and even though I wasn't sure about it, but since this meeting in the fraternity building was around Friday at 7 p.m., and we don't even have any classes on Friday at that time, so we talked about it the rest of the week until the Friday came. Even though when we were in our dorm room on Friday just before 7 p.m., we were even considered not even go. But in the end, we decided to just go and see what it's gonna be like. And when we arrived, there were at least 10 other guys that were selected along with us. Because when we first arrived, we said there was one guy who asked why we were even here. And I showed them the letter because they wouldn't even otherwise believe us. So we were taken down to some form of basement location of this building. They told us they will select only 2 members, new ones, to this club. So that were like 2 of 12 that will have this opportunity to join. They would have to do some tests in order to see if we were brave enough or we were required to be a member. And I have to say though, I'm not really about to get much into exactly what kind of we're, well, since we were only part of at least one of them. You may understand. Some that might have been strange or even considered risky ones. Adrian, who was standing next to me, he went up before me and he put his hand in a box and he grabbed something inside. And he screamed immediately because he realized what was inside the box. Because he pulled out his hand immediately and he said, "It's a snake!" But one of the other members of, I think his name was Mark, he said that the snake was harmless. But what these people didn't know, that Adrian, he's literally terrified of snakes so much. He was crying. But the club member just laughed about it, just to see him so scared. I was furious. But I didn't say anything. You want me to say I was a coward? No. Just wait to see why. I stood next to him once again when another guy walked up and he handled something else in a box. Turned out there was a different, well, test in each boxes. And this guy simply managed to do this without any, well, any problem with anything. Then I was selected to walk up to try it again. And I saw that Adrian was still crying. I just took his hand and I turned around and left. Everyone, including the other guys that had been selected, was stunned. And it and the members, they literally called out to me, and I said, well, I said something like without turning around. I said that I would not allow them to terrify or harm my best friend like that. And I never even had intention to join this club at all. I only went there to see what it's going to be about. But they heard me saying that. The senior members yelled out of anger that they went out this how much work they put out to pick me and Adrian, and I said, well, bad luck for you. Adrian said that he hates this club and don't want to join it either. So we just left. So by the next week, everyone on the campus became aware of what happened. But neither me or Adrian didn't even care about it at all. But eventually, at some point, I can't say it's precise, maybe a couple of weeks after this, I was approached by Mark and Victor, both seniors and members of the club. They were even there when this happened. Victor was even the president of the club. And he said that he went through all this to inviting me and Jay and Adrian again. But I bluntly said nope, and said that I will never join. And I even said that Adrian did not have no intention either. And I told him just simply, leave us alone. With that, I just turned around and walked away. I even told others what kind of things that later took place during this supposed meeting, and how Adrian reacted when he touched the snake. They could not even imagine the fear and the reaction he had. A lot of students took my side, and others who had recently joined the club, as those two that were able to join, and eventually also left because they didn't want to be part of it. Mark and Victor was so angry, and one day the principal called me to his office, and also even Andrea. And when we went there, Victor was also in his office. He had said a fake story of what happened, but I told the principal my side of the story, and of course, Adrian did the same thing. He was just still terrified, and the principal said that we could have been expelled for making a such fake story, that we make rumors of the club that they were harming people with such crazy and insanity stunts. But I said, well, if it means that I had to be expelled, so I don't have to be near the club, so be it. I don't regret it. I was actually so prepared to just simply drop out of college so that me or Adrian had to be near that particular club members ever again. But nothing happened. Eventually, nothing happened though. But eventually, the club was disbanded. Not because what I did. Well, not directly though, but during mine and Adrian's senior year, there were no new members that joined this club because this story spread so much at the campus and persisted for so long that every time when new members was offered a position within this club, no one did even dare to even show up. And eventually, when the older senior members left college, there were only like a few members left. And when there was too few, this club was eventually officially dissolved, and now it's just a bad memory. I also learned from later on by hearing from mutual friends or something like that this particular fraternity club was eventually banned from restart on the college ground forever, meaning that no one is allowed to restart this particular club ever again. And I also find out that This college put a permanent ban on any fraternity or sorority clubs were even allowed on the campus ground. I was like, whoa, that was quite an experience. And I was like, and even now, after a few years after college was over, me and Alien from time to time, when we talk about college, this always comes up to us. We always talk about how things could have been if we did join the club. I mean, I don't even regret my choice not to join, and I didn't spread rumors about this club at all. I only stated my what happened to me and Adrian to a few other people, and those people eventually told to other people, and eventually the whole school knew what happened. And that no people didn't want to join this club, well, it's up to them. No one didn't force them to stay away from this club. I can only imagine when Victor and Mark, when they finished college and went off to the new world of being adults, but they find out that this club had disbanded and also permanently banned. They might be frustrated, and I would not be surprised if they put me and Adrian the blame on this. Their old college club was permanently banned. Well, if they want to believe in that, it's up to them. But I don't even regret at all. So, yeah. But you may think every single fraternity or sorority clubs are dangerous. Not necessarily. There are there are in fact some that's really good, like the infamous Skull and Bones, that has students, men who join in a club that when that end up in very high positions within the politics, like some of them that actually they did become presidents and all. So I will say that not all fraternity and sorority clubs are dangerous or that should have been avoided. Not necessarily. Even though there are some college and university that literally prohibit to any sort of clubs to exist on the grounds. I'm just telling people always be aware of any craziness. If there's any signs of any like this happen to others, think first before make the final decision if you really want to be part of such club or not. Me and Adrian, we don't even regret at all. In fact, even to this day, we laugh about it. You may ask, is Adrian still afraid of snakes? To a certain extent, but he had got better over the years, but he doesn't regret his choice not want to be part of it. I mean, I may have wondered if he had did join this club, would he still be my friend after all this? There's a 50-50 chance that he may had or may not have been my friend anymore. It depends. But like I said, I don't regret this choice at all. So to this the club had been disbanded permanently and also banned from being on the college. Well, maybe it was for the best. And yeah, so that was my story of my time when I was offered a position within college fraternity club. So yeah, thank you all for listening to this story, and thank you.